Good afternoon, penny stock billionaires. We're going to be doing a quick run through of today's Moon Momentum stocks. Moon Momentum, that's right. We got CoinDesk. CoinDesk looks like it's back. DraftKings, very interesting stock chart. I mean, actually, both of those guys are looking very, very similar. Let me go right into that chart. Let me get out of the screen here. Let me make it okay. So let me drop. I'm going to drop this thing, and here we go. Okay, what's going on with Coinbase? Now, this stock has disappointed a lot of people in the last couple of months. It has been a long downhill, long downhill ski slope. Here's what's going on. Again, the theme, we're seeing the same thing emerge. Since May, a lot of these stocks have been bottoming out. They've been building bases. And if you look at what is going on with Coinbase, we started building a base May 10th. Looks like a double bottom, head and shoulders. I mean, there's a number of ways of looking at it. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure that this thing is actually working. Hang on a second. Let me just stand by 1 second. There we go. Okay. Is this sound better? Okay, I'm just curious. I had the wrong mic on. So yeah, so this should be hopefully sounding a little better. If it's sounding better, just put a thing in the chat, the chat, whatever the thing they call this thing here. Okay, what is going on? Back with the CoinDesk. So again, one of the things I always look for is the moving average. The moving average is very objective. It's idiot proof. You want to be long above it, short below it, out of the stock. And we are at that 50-day, right approaching it. And if it breaks out, which I'm pretty sure it will, that's going to give a very strong buy signal. And we're going to have a lot of algorithms that are going to kick in. There we go. 4-hour chart. Boom. That is, well, that kind of shows you today's action there. So yeah, so this thing, based on the short-term chart, we get a breakout, and okay, so where is the next resistance level coming from? This is kind of a vacuum here. I mean, this thing could just pop. It could just pop, and a lot of people have been saying, is it all over for Coinbase? Now, I actually owned this stock. I took a hit with this stock. Very disappointing. Let's see. I would love for this thing to go to zero just because I hate this thing, but let's be realistic here. Okay, next level of resistance is going to be right around $62. So we got a window here. Basically, excuse me. Wait a minute. Is this correct? No, this can't be right. What is going on here? 53? No. Is my data wrong? What is going on here? So this is no, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So 75, right around $75 is your next level of resistance. So this thing could pop $10, $12, $13 before it runs into any significant resistance. So Coinbase, okay, so the mic is working. All right, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, Coinbase, we got, if you're a low life degenerate day trader, you can make $10 right over here next couple of days as a swing trade. What else is looking good? How about DraftKings? DraftKings, very similar chart, very similar. And now today we actually, again, we're breaking out of this 50-day moving average. It's a very key thing. I keep talking about these moving averages because, the chart analysis is very subjective. One guy says it's a double bottom, the other guy says it's this. Any asshole. Everybody's got an opinion. Moving average is pure science. I mean, that's like the math, pure math. Math momentum. So, and again, I've talked about this before. It's one of the the proven systems to make money on Wall Street has been trend following. The trend is your friend. When it's above the moving average, the trend is your friend. When it's below it, it's against you. So you want to be with the moving average. So This thing is breaking out. It's not a super, I'd like to see, it's not a super aggressive breakout, but it's one of these things you just have to kind of take it, and just run with it. Yes, just give you a little history here at DraftKings. I think we're at the double bottom. Again, that's subjective, right? I'm saying it's a double bottom, but we're going to know if DraftKings is in a new uptrend, if it could break out and hold like, let's say $15, at that point, $16, that's going to be confirmation. Okay, how about Roblox? Okay, so look, the metaverse, the Web3 metaverse stocks have been in have started a bit of a bull market, right? So take a look at this. Roblox broke out on June 23rd, started bottoming, May 10th. So we've been breaking out. Again, nice separation from the moving average. Things have been picking up speed, right? How about Unity Software? So here's another metaverse Web3 stock. We're building a double bottom, head and shoulders bottom, whatever you want to call it. Still below the moving average, but it looks like we're approaching it. It looks like we're getting to that moving average. So that is looking pretty good. Now, let's talk about another Web3 stock, one of our favorites, one of our penny stocks over here. NEXCF, NEXCF. I'm showing you the Canadian chart right now, but the US chart, kind of similar. The only reason I show the Canadian again is because much more data on it. It's a longer time period. So we're getting a sell-off. This thing has been selling off the last 3 days. And I want to show you something very interesting. And of course, look, this is perfectly normal and to be expected. Now, here's what's going on. We're above the moving average. We broke out above the moving average, June 22nd. Big, acceleration away from that moving average, which I like. By the way, just so you know, every time this thing breaks above the moving average, we see a nice pop. Again, on the 50-day moving averages, there was a couple of fake outs, which I pointed out, but it also let you in on some major up moves, like this move that went from 67 to 250, from was it $9? I think was it $1? No, was it $1 to $10? So major moves, and again from here, from whatever it was, from 5 to 8. Notice this thing is a proven indicator, right? If you want to look at a 200-day moving average, same thing. Now, what's going on? If you notice, NEXCF for the last couple of weeks, it tends to have a rally of like 3 days up, and then 3 days down. So big move up, some profit taking, it goes down a little bit, then pulls back. So what we're seeing today is pretty much filling the pattern. I was expecting it to have a little more support in the $1 range, but again, these things always go to more of an extreme. I thought the support would kick in at $1. There is support at the 93-cent level on some charts I showed you earlier, which is kind of where we're at right now. There's another level of support at 75 cents and at 85 cents. So those are your key support levels. And again, the stock may test those levels. Look, on any of these big runs, you always see pullbacks. So let's take a look at something interesting. So, the stock bottomed out, let's call it 35 cents. We went to $1.30, right? So that's $1. And a normal pullback would be at least 30 cents. So that would take us to $1. That would be kind of the first level. It could go, with Canadian stocks, it's usually more, so 50. So let's say we go 50. So it could, we could be pulling back, maybe a couple more pennies, like 85. Very possible. But the breakout is very real. And let me show you something else. Let me show you the weekly chart on this. Again, we got a double bottom. We're below the 50 moving average still. We're still below it. We touched it last week on big volume, right? That's the other thing you want to watch. NEXCF has been increasing on big volume, and the sell-offs have been on lower volume. So which tells you the main trend, the direction, the momentum is on the upside. Look, why, everybody's asking, why do you keep talking on NEXCF? Well, NEXCF is one of our client companies, right? And I'm doing a chart chat, and it's the one which has the most momentum, and it fits into the Web3 theme. So, that's why I'm talking about it, right? Hang on a second, let me get this. Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. And again, the other thing I like about it is it's a proven winner. I think stocks tend to repeat their past history. Last time we introduced it, it went up 1,500%, 1,500% in about 10 months, maybe 11 months. I believe that history tends to repeat. So, I'm looking for a TenBagger. I'm not saying it's going there. I'm not saying, I can't make any predictions. That's just my personal, the criteria I look for in our next super stocks is at least a 10x, and this definitely fits the criteria, which we talk about on all the fundamentals of all that. But today I'm only talking about the charts. So take a look at this. Take a look. Why am I looking forward to a breakout above the 50 moving average? Because it's only happened twice before. Every time it happened, massive move. You had a move from, this low, I don't know, what is it, 50 cents to 250, and from, $1 to $10. So big moves, and it's happened every time. So very high probability of that trade, but we need to see a breakout, and that is at the $1.30. So if we can break out to a $1.35, that would be super bullish, and it would trigger a lot of algorithms. Jeff, I think, I agree with you. I think 85 is probably a bigger area of support. We might test 85. I wouldn't be surprised. There's also, let me see what else is going on here. Yeah. So basically the technical story, I think, is looking very solid. And, we have tomorrow turnaround Tuesday. That's usually, that's kind of a theme. You got Mondays, stocks are down on Monday, usually turn around Tuesdays. Again, it's just one of those Wall Street sayings. So could we be seeing a turnaround Tuesday? Very possible, especially based on the statistical probabilities. If we're looking at how the stock behaves in a normal kind of market, again, this thing was in a downtrend for quite a while, and it's bottomed out last month. Very similar to a lot of the tech stocks. So, we're seeing a lot of these things bottom out, and, the theme is taking off. Okay, so let's go to AMC. This is, one of the stocks I've been talking about only because, it's a good, again, I like this as a, what do you call it? A sentiment indicator, speculative momentum. What is it? I think I mentioned it the first time. Was it last week or something, when it broke out of this moving average? Again, I said, I don't really care what these guys do. The theaters, I think it's garbage, but once it breaks out of the 50 moving average, you got to run with it. And again, very similar kind of chart to the NEXCF chart, right? Look at this for the breakout of the moving average. I mean, if we overlay the NEXCF chart with this, it would look quite similar. But AMC is a little bit strong. Well, definitely it's much stronger right now. This thing is up right now. So, this thing is accelerating. Where can this, what's the resistance line? Let's see. Oh, not really. Is this it here? I don't know. I mean, there's a couple possibilities, but I mean, I think we got a pretty clear shot to like $20 on AMC. Personally, I wouldn't buy it because it's just too, movie theaters. I don't know. I think it's, cost. What is cost? Actually, what was that? Cost corporate. What do these guys do? Costs. Costs. I just know it's a bad word in Persian. Kos. So maybe is this a Kos? Is this a Koskish stock? I don't know. This is like I mean, it's not looking super appetizing. I mean, I could see where this thing has been. Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, this was a crazy stock, but AMC I think is a much better setup. I mean, AMC's got more momentum right now, and if you're just like a scalper or whatever, a swinger, this is a better stock, right? So AMC, I showed you RBLX. Let's take a look at Snap, which is kind of also in the metaverse Web3 space, like NEXCF. And that one has been not. I mean, we're below the moving average. It's been trying to build a base, but the breakout is at 1650. So until Snap breaks out of 1650, it's kind of dead money. How about TDOC, the health tech space? Now the health tech space has been in a kind of a bear market for the last year. These stocks are high flyers, the TDOCs of the world, and taking a bit of a beating. This is bad. Let me see. What is this? I hate when this thing happens. But yeah, look, I think we're kind of at a double bottom in TDOC. It's building a base. Broke out of this moving average. Let's see if it holds. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure. I'd like to see confirmation, though. I'd like to see confirmation. You're not going to see confirmation until it's like in the 70 range, above 50, above 70. But yeah, this is I'm a little bit suspicious of, because it's just the breakout has been kind of weak. I know it's above the 50, but it's a little weak. By the way, a lot of you guys have been asking, NEXCF, this has been up 300%. That's right, 3 times your money you would have made if you bought that stock around 30 cents in what is it, last month, right? A month ago. A month ago, it was around 30, 35 cents. You could have picked it up all day long. Here we go. Yeah. It was, 36. Even if you paid 40 cents, right? Let's say you paid 40 cents. Stock went to $1.30 in the last 30 days, right? By the way, which is normal. That's why it's also pulling back. You got a lot of profit taking. You did have, smart people who bought it at 40, 50 cents, 60 cents on the way up. And, people are sharp. They know the market. We're still in a bear market overall, right? I could say all day long, we're bottoming out, but the overall secular trend is still bearish. We're still in a secular downtrend overall, and it's going to be there for quite a while. So, if somebody's going to double their money, I don't blame them for taking the money and run. If they're going to double their money in a stock like NEXCF, yeah, sure, why not? Double your money and run. But also, there's a lot of people who are looking, hey, you know what? I don't want to just double my money. I want to make 10 times my money. So, those guys are probably buying in, doubling down, etc. Who knows? Yeah. So what am I? Oh, yeah. So people have been asking, yeah, wow, this thing is up 300%. Now a lot of people are saying, wow, we missed the boat. What's the net? Well, I'll tell you what, if you missed the boat on NEXCF, we got a couple stocks that are very similar charts right now, which I think are going to be moving. Again, these are client companies. AIML is one of them. AIML. Again, not a lot of trading on this chart. AIMLF for the Americans. AIMLF. So it's AIML Innovations, health tech, wearable space. There's a couple of stories here. By the way, we're going to have a live stream tomorrow with the CEO, the chairman. The chairman, thank you, Jeff. The chairman is going to be on. Tim Daniels, not Frank Sinatra. That's the other chairman. And we're going to get an update on what's going on with this company. They got some exciting things happening. A lot of catalysts, big catalysts for upside. Big catalysts for upside in AIMLF. And I'd like Tim to share that with our audience tomorrow. So please join in, ask your questions. Again, it's one of our next super stocks, right? So the goal is 10x upside potential. When we first introduced it, January of last year at 21, was it 2 years? In the last year, I think it was 30 cents. I don't know, 50 cents, whatever the number. I don't really care anymore. But basically tripled. It tripled right away. But again, it was a bullish market. The company was a little slow to deliver. It's a fact. We were expecting things to move faster, but that's the opportunity. These micro caps, they never deliver on time. It's a fact. I mean, they can tell you whatever they want. I've rarely seen anybody get anything done in the time schedule that they said it would happen. It just never happens. So, if they tell you something's going to take a month, it takes 3 months. It's just the reality. And that's what's happening with AIML. And you can join the live stream tomorrow. You could, yell at Tim, tell him, hey, why is this taking much longer? But that's the way it is. But the facts are there, right? The company's got the catalyst, they got the market opportunity. And I think they're at the inflection point finally. Now, they were we're waiting for the big inflection, and this could be it right now. We're approaching it very, very closely. I should say we're getting close to the big inflection point. I think so. Tomorrow we'll join in. So we've got a double bottom here, head and shoulder. It looks very similar to those charts. It's similar to T-Doc I was talking about. Not a lot of action here yet, but this thing can move. Look, this thing has a market cap of only $7 million. Only $7 million. So they're going after a market opportunity. It's in the billions. They got a patent position which could be worth a lot of money. Supposedly, this patent position covers like pretty much, any type of health tech wearable, right? So, this thing could be very, very interesting. Anyhow, so I highly recommend you join the live stream tomorrow. That's AIML. How about Mullen? Again, you heard me say this stock is a little bit, a little shaky. And here we go. So Mullen, we had a breakout. It was a failed breakout. And now you kind of see this thing struggling. I think this, people look at this as a kind of like a Fugazi stock, which probably is kind of a Fugazi stock. Something very Fugazi about it. Mullen. Tesla. Did I look at Tesla yet? No. Tesla. Okay. So Tesla, what's been happening is again, the moving average trend is your friend. Unless the trend does one of these fake outs. So we had a breakout on July 8th. The next day drops right below the moving average. So, you get a buy signal followed by sell signal. So you got whipsawed. And then, again, a buy signal Friday. Today is a follow through. So technically, Tesla is in momentum. It's bull mode. You should be long Tesla based on this moving average. I think look, it's trying to. If you look, it's been making higher lows. It's been making higher lows for the last since May. So last 2-3 months, it's making higher lows in this little pattern here. I think the stock wants to go higher. It's just looking for an excuse. It needs the right motivation to go higher, but it's not. This is the trend. The bias is to the upside in Tesla. The bias is to the upside. Look, it's making higher highs above the moving average. It is what it is, right? So let's take a look at the weekly. Wow. Now here again, this goes to show you the weekly chart, 50-week moving average on Tesla. The breakout was at $65, right? We only had one signal in the last, couple of years on Tesla. Only one signal of moving average. The breakout, $65. No, maybe less. I can't even say it was 45. Yeah, let's call it $60, right? And the stock went up 20x. That is insane. So, and it gave a sell signal here, February. It was a whipsaw. Again, this is the whipsaw. You had a buy signal again at 873. You had a $200 pop, and then whipsaw again down. So you would have been whipsawed over here, basically flat, and now you'd be technically short. So the two charts are kind of contradicting each other. Unlike the chart for NEXCF. The NEXCF chart is, is looking very, very good. Let's see. Okay. And again, NEXCF, this is the Elon Musk of microcaps. So you got a double bottom approaching the 50-week moving average. This is the weekly chart today. Okay, so we're at 91 cents. Wow, the stock is getting a bit of a beating today. It's getting a bit of a beating. Oh, one thing is there was like another one of these short reports that came out on the stock, and yeah, I talked about it on a video yesterday. We put out a chart video. Again, it's one of, look, there's only two kinds of short reports, only two types. Either, you have there's a legitimate, you're a short because there's a legitimate, financial fraud, something is a complete fraud, right? That's legitimate, short report, right? Those are the classic reports. Now, today, you have these guys who are basically doing these like kind of, innuendos. Well, I don't like that. They're opinion reports. Basically, it's a guy with an opinion that thinks, oh, I think the stock is too high. And then he writes a whole report with like lame reasons. I mean, and if you look at the guy's track record, he's wrong like 70% of the time. If you look at all these guys, right? Now, NEXCF has been attacked by shorts. How many times? 3-4 times, right? I mean, the stock is basically immune to short sellers over the long term. I mean, temporarily takes a bit of a hit, right? And then you see within a couple of weeks, it bounces back to new highs every time, every single time. Every single time. Let me pull out my little calendar. I made some notes. Where are the notes? Okay, I made some notes. Here are the notes. You had February 10, 2020, short report number one. The stock was higher within a few months. July 20, 2020, the stock was higher in a few months. December 2 of last year, and it's the same clown, this panda guy. And I think the stock, when I think he put out the report at $1.30 Canadian, I believe, and we just hit that number recently. So, it's kind of funny. I mean, look, I think short sellers have they have a very valuable role in the market, right? It's a valuable role in the market. Generally speaking, you want to have liquidity, trading, and everything else. You have to have varied opinions. You can't have everybody just on one side of a trade, right? You got to have two sides. Two opinions make a market, as the old saying goes, right? The only thing is, look, if you're going to write a report, come up with like real stuff to talk about, like not just like, oh, I don't like it because I think they're too slow with this or that. I mean, the guy doesn't even use the correct information on the spinouts. He didn't talk about the spinouts properly. It's not a TSX shell. It's a direct listing. So there's a lot of bad information that the report was based on. So it's just people twisting a little piece of data into a narrative that fits their opinion. Hey, God bless. All I know is statistics and facts, right? Statistically speaking, NEXCF every single time has been trading higher within weeks of a short report. So to me, that says that we're going to see higher prices in the coming weeks. We might see a pullback here, 90 cents, 85 cents. Again, the stock has had a big run, right? So it's run up 300%. I don't blame people for taking some profits, taking some money off the table. Sure. But anyway, where are we now? Yeah, so we're in the 90-cent range. And I'm looking again for a key reversal day, like an inside day. What are they called? Tomorrow, that very high probability of that happening. And by the way, here's what's interesting. Look at this. The volume is down. The volume is down. It's like, on the sell-off, the volume has been low. So to me, it just says, very, very, weak selling, which is a positive. Okay. Anyway, that wraps it up. I think we've covered everything. If this is your first time watching, press the like, subscribe button. Helps the algorithm. We got to have the algorithm working here. And I'll see you all on tomorrow's live stream with AIML. AIMLF is the symbol. A lot of exciting things happening. Again, this is a stock that has a lot of upside potential. And again, my goal is to bring you those stocks, which have that 10x to 100x upside potential. Now, we haven't had a 100 bagger in the last few years. We haven't. We've had a 50 bagger. We've had 2 20 baggers, and a bunch of other 10x, 15x. So we've had 9 stocks that have increased between 1,000 and 5,000%. A whole bunch of stocks have increased, triple digits, I don't know, 300, 500%. I don't even count those. And look, the reality is, and this is just, I've only been keeping track of this only the last 2 years with the Next Super Stock. That's our platform, the name of this platform for these special situations. But if you look at the Wall Street Reporter history, I mean, we've had 100 baggers, 10 baggers, 20 baggers. We've had a couple of 100 baggers actually going back to history. I mean, now I do have to say I can't take credit for those 100 baggers because those are just stocks that we did an interview with the CEO. They might have done a small, IR program with us, but it wasn't like a long-term promotional campaign. So I think it was like Taser, MicroStrategy. That's Michael Saylor. He was. We did stuff with him. This is going back like 20 years. We've had other stuff. I mean, a lot of winners. So this is not something that we're just started with. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, the guy got lucky. Oh, the market is up." No, it's not. It's we have stocks moving now. NEXCF is moving. We got other stuff moving. We have some massive winners, and the big winners are discovered right at the bottom. Right like when things look the ugliest. You got to buy ugly, sell pretty. And this like right now, the summer, people are on vacation. Very few people are watching these stocks, and this is a stealth bull market happening. Just like in 2020, July of 2020, that's when we introduced Fans Unite, which became a 10-bagger plus, a 15-bagger if I'm not mistaken. CloudMD, which CloudMD was a little bit of a disappointment. I think that one only went up like 300 or 400%. It could have been a 10-bag, but it only went up 300 or 400%. We introduced the Visibility Group that became, I believe, 1,200%. A bunch of winning stocks. So I think the same thing is going to happen right now. So anyway, thank you all for joining. Oh, Jeff, thank you for reminding me. Now, I haven't mentioned those stocks because the charts on those stocks are kind of like, they've sold off a little bit. They've taken a bit of a beating. Let me pull those up, actually. I've been focused on talking about the momentum stuff. But now that you bring it up, thank you for bringing it up, Jeff. Nova Mentis. Actually, I am glad you brought it up. We are at a key support level here, a nickel. Key support level in the stock. And I think here is where you can see this thing starting to base. The volume was quiet. They haven't put out a lot of news. We know that they have their clinical trials coming up in the coming weeks. I think it could be, we should have news like any day now because they're supposed to be going with these phase 2A trials in July, right? So again, I've said the companies never do stuff on time. These guys seem to have gotten things pretty much on time. So we could see some interesting action here. Look at this chart. Look at this chart. Jeff, I'm so glad you brought this up. I own a bunch of the stock, by the way. I bought it to the private. I got a lot of money tied up in this. I should be talking about it more to pump my own stock, although it's not through trading yet. I bought it to private placement because I like this asymmetrical setup. We have big upside. I see this as minimal risk the way I see it personally. And again, I'm not buying into a stock unless, I think it could be a 10x upside, especially in a private placement. For sure, a private placement. Why else would I do that? Like, you think I'm an idiot? Look at this chart. I think stocks tend to go back to old highs, right? I'm not saying it's going back to $4. Not saying that at all, but that's what this chart shows, right? It's just part of their DNA, right? Even if it goes to 40 cents, 50 cents, it's part of the DNA of the stock. All they need is some good data. And, you see these biotech stocks, exploding, overnight. Like all of a sudden they open up, up 100%, up 200%, up 70%, big volume. Why? just based on good clinical data, not even a drug approval, not even an approval, just good data. And these guys have some some very positive things in the pipeline that could result in good data, and that could send the stock flying, right? So that's what I like about it. PHRX, very similar. Now this thing has been kind of, again, by the way, both of them are below the moving average. So objectively speaking, they're in a bit of a downtrend, but I believe they're at bottoms, especially Nova. So this thing, look, here's what's going on. I think it's kind of lost momentum because there hasn't been a lot of news flow. They had a lot of news coming out, and I don't know, they're taking the summer off. I got to give them a call. Yeah, we haven't had the CEO on in a while. Yeah, it's these guys got to get off their ass. They got to start putting out news flow. I'm sure they have stuff going on, and they should be talking about it, right? Anyhow, that's it. So, Jeff, thank you for mentioning Nova Mentis and MLS. Again, I'm into these stocks. I'm looking for 10x upside. You got to make your own decision. Hope to have Nova back on next few weeks. And again, we're waiting for the data, clinical data. All right, see you on the next one. And, I should add, biotechs, some of our biggest winners. Cytodyne, that's a biotech stock we introduced, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? It went up 2,000%. Cytodyne, CYDY, went from 50 cents to $10 after we introduced it on Wall Street Reporter's Next Super Stock. And by the way, after we introduced it at 50 cents, it went to 30 cents over the next 2 months, 35 cents. It bottomed out. And then it went to $10. Never looked back. $10.01 to be exact. So is history going to repeat? Let's find out. I mean, we haven't had any other biotechs. I haven't had any other biotech stocks besides Cytodyne in the last 2 years. Just Nova and Pharmadrug. So let's see what happens. All right, see you tomorrow on AIMLF Live.